Putin. Why do you think that there has been some rhetoric in new media in particular that Putin isn't that bad of a guy? And I'm not going to name names, but it's like, and I do believe, listen, I do believe that the United States government played a role and provoked the situation for sure. I think there were off ramps along the way from what I can tell and what I've gleaned. But the guy is a monster, and you put him up there now alongside Hitler. And if anybody's going to know this, it's going to be you, as you mentioned, 19 bestsellers, best-selling nonfiction author of all time. And to just let you know, people do trust you that much. You are the top-rated podcast I've ever had, and you cleared over 1 million views in 2 weeks. That's unbelievable. Why are people softening the blow on what a monster this guy is, do you think?
Number one, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
So I never criticize anybody if they believe something that I feel is erroneous. I put forth more powerful arguments to diminish their point of view, but I don't attack them personally.
Of course.
There's a very small segment that likes to get attention. And when you go in as a contrarian on the internet, that's the whole game on the internet. It's so crowded there. It's like the Long Island Expressway meets I-5. It's so crowded that in order to get people to look at you, listen to you, consider you, you got to say something outrageous.
Okay.
And that's what this is all about in the media. There are nuts who think that Putin is reasonable, which he isn't. He's a sadistic, I wouldn't say he's crazy, but I would say that his value of human life is zero, and he had no conscience whatsoever. But if you go on the internet and you say, oh, it's Ukraine's fault this war started, or the United States had provoked Putin, which we did not.
Didn't we, though? We expanded NATO. We put it on the border. We nuked the negotiations in 22.
But we never, ever encouraged Ukraine to go into NATO. That was never on the board.
I thought Kamala was like, we want you to join and all of that. I thought there was...
No, there was any government official was not telling Ukraine that they were going to get entry into NATO. Because all of the Eastern NATO countries, Poland and the Baltic countries, Finland now, they knew that you can't do that because Putin's going to then lash out. So NATO knew that wasn't going to happen. And then Barack Obama allowed Putin to go in and take Crimea with no sanctions at all, nothing. And that's what emboldened Vlad. So as soon as Biden came in, he went, oh, okay, now I got these guys back again. I can do pretty much what I want. What happened was Putin thought he was going to knife right through the Ukrainians, and they fought for their freedom. And Putin's army is terrible, and that's a huge embarrassment. And you're using mercenaries from North Korea? Are you kidding me? What's next, Sri Lanka? The Russian army can't beat the Ukrainians?
You know, when you put it in perspective like that, it gives me a completely different point of view, because at first I was like, oh my God, and now he's aligned with North Korea, which is terrible, and we've pushed them together, and we why are we doing that? But then when you show how pathetic that is, it's fascinating. I instantaneously got refocused on it completely in this moment. It's pathetic.
Yeah,
I see
Putin can't even recruit for his army. He's got to let the people out of prison. He's got to let the drug dealers and the drug addicts and the child molesters and everybody out of prison, put them in a uniform and throw them into Ukraine. I mean, it's insane. I mean, this war has devastated Putin, but you'd never know it.
No.
Because the press is incapable of this kind of analysis. They're incapable of it. They're blinded by Trump hatred so badly that it's just staggering, and it hurts every single American.
It surely does, because we are utterly misinformed and running around like chickens with our head cut off, not knowing which way to turn or how to make powerful choices because they're informed, which is why you are an absolute national treasure. Sir, when does the book come out? Where do we get more? Tell me about No Spin News.
All right. So first of all, Confronting the Presidents is still in play, and that's the best book you'll ever read on the presidents. And interestingly enough, on the No Spin News, my TV broadcast, and you can just go to BillO'Reilly.com, but our distribution is now worldwide. But you should watch it. You know, this revenge play by Trump. Trump, if you criticize Trump, he's not going to like you. And if you go over a certain line, he's going to try to hurt you. And it's a big thing in the press now. Trump is revenge, revenge, revenge. And there's truth to it, but it's not unusual. Okay? So Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, JFK, LBJ, Richard Nixon, all did the same thing. And we document it. And that's Confronting the Presidents. And that book is on a New York Times bestseller list for 6 solid months. So that's worth checking out. Then September 9th, we got Confronting Evil, about the 12 most heinous individuals who ever lived. No women, Jillian. I couldn't find a woman to stack up against these dastardly men. I looked, but I couldn't find anybody that came close to what these guys did to the planet. But that'll be out. You can pre-order it on BillO'Reilly.com or Amazon or anything like that. So we're cooking here with the most successful independent news agency in the world as far as revenue is concerned. I run my own shop. I never work for a corporation again. I'm like you, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I wish I had started a lot earlier, because I had a lot of time with those corporations, and I'll take years off your life, that's for sure.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.